going, guys? I hope you're all well. I'm coming with you with a bonus video this week because I wanted to chat a little bit about Notion. If you've not heard of Notion before, I've mentioned it quite a lot on this channel now, but it's essentially an all-in-one productivity platform. I use it, I love it. This isn't sponsored. I just genuinely think it is the sort of best planning system out there. So I thought today I would run through how I use it in my life and also show you how I use, or you can use, the templates that I sell. So I sell some Notion templates on my Etsy store, and I've had some feedback from you guys in terms of it would be really handy to have a video run through of how these planners work, how I use them, etc. So I thought I would do that today. But essentially Notion is completely flexible, completely customizable. That's the fantastic thing about it. It's a really powerful tool, so you can use it across all aspects of your life. So I use it as my just sort of day-to-day planner. I use it to plan my meals. I use it to plan my reading. I use it to plan my wardrobe, store all my kind of contact information, everything. My entire life is plugged in to Notion. So it really is an amazing tool, but takes a bit of time to learn it. So I think for me, I used some templates when I started learning about Notion, and that's why I thought it might be quite a good thing to sell on my Etsy store, because I've spent the last 6 months or so, I think, really like deep diving into Notion. So if you have a template, it's much easier to start and get used to Notion. So today I'm just going to run through a few of the basics and just show you Notion. It's not going to be a comprehensive Notion tutorial. If you want to learn a bit more, there are some videos on YouTube, but I would also highly recommend Ali Abdal's Skillshare class. So I'll drop a link to that in my description below, but essentially that class covers everything you would ever want to know about Notion, and he's a great teacher. So I'll drop that below in case you're interested. But let's get chatting and I'll be showing you my planners. Okay, so I thought the easiest way to do this would to be doing a screen share, so I hope that's okay. So I'm going to be running through the planners I sell on my Etsy as examples. So the first one I'm going to start on is the Slow Living Planner. So this is the first template I came out with, and I know a lot of you guys have really enjoyed using this. So thank you very much, everyone that has supported my Etsy store in purchasing this. So when you buy my templates from Etsy, essentially you get a PDF, and that has two links in it. The first link is the link to your planner, which will be this, and the second is the link to a YouTube tutorial that I've done, and you'll be able to access that and properly go through how to use each of the templates. But once you click on this link, the only thing you need to do to start using it essentially is to duplicate it. So that is this button up here. So if you don't already have a Notion account, then it will ask you to create one, which is again free to do, and you just need to put in your email and a password to do that. If you already have a Notion account, then it will either log you in automatically or ask you for your login details. So it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so that's all duplicated. It just take a few moments to do that. So it might offer you, so you can use Notion completely online, or you can use the desktop app. So it might offer you to open that, because I have that if you want to. So this is what my Notion essentially looks like. You have this sidebar. So this stores, I've got quite a lot of stuff in here because I create my own templates, but all the pages. But you can just get rid of that by pushing that in there. Makes it easier to see everything. So I've split this planner up into different sections. This is essentially the dashboard, your home page. This is where you'll find everything. So in terms of how you can customize this, it really is straightforward if you prefer different photos, etc. So the first thing you can do in terms of just general customizing pages is you can click up on these three dots, and this gives you options, so you can change the style. So I've got serif, and that's what I've got for my whole planner because it's my preference, but you can also use default, or you can use mono, which is quite quirky. You can also reduce the text size, you can make it full width or not. I've got pretty much all of mine full width, I think. So there's a few little style things you can do there. And then if I scroll down here, you'll see I've put in a couple of photos. These are just from Unsplash, and they're really easy to change. So if you hover over them, you'll see these three dots come up, and it gives you options. So you can delete it, you can duplicate it, or you can replace it. So if you click replace, it comes up with different ways you can do it. So you can upload your own image, you can embed a link from an image online. They automatically give you the option to search within Unsplash on here, and or you can put in a GIF instead. So whichever works for you. This is just something I created in Canva. So this is a graphic, and again, the same thing. You hover over it, you get those three dots, and you can change it up. And then again, same with this. This is just a link. So I just embedded a link from YouTube as a playlist, but you can change that or delete it, whatever you prefer. So Notion essentially organizes itself by separating out into different pages. So these were all these are. So these are headings that I've put in, and then these will link to different pages. So we're going to the daily planner and I can show you that. So this is the daily planner, and it's really easy to go in and change the text in here. So you essentially, you just, type, you could just start typing. Obviously you would want to change the date. You can change this a quote if you would prefer a different one, or delete it entirely. And then you can change all of this text. So the other way of altering different things on Notion is if you hover over a heading, say for this case, you get these dots here, and if you click on that, it gives you different options. So you can delete it, you can duplicate it, but you can also turn it into something else. So if you hover over the turn it into, you can turn it into different headings. So this is just different size heading. You can just turn it back to text. And this opens up all the options basically you can do in Notion. So you can make it into to-do list, a bulleted list, a numbered list, a toggle list, a quote, lots of different options in there for you. So for example, these I've just put in as headings, but I've got different types of lists here. So I've got a numbered list here, and you can start typing straight away. And the same with this is a to-do list, and you can tick on and off, which is quite satisfying. And it's really easy to move things around in Notion as well. You just essentially take this, and you can see there's an option there to drag it, so you can just move things around and customize it that way. This is how I've set up the daily planner, and it's split into different prompts, an intention for the day, what I'm grateful for, how I slow down, because obviously this is a slow living planner. And then I've split the tasks up basically into non-negotiables, and that just, I usually have 2 or 3 on there that I list every day, and it just keeps me focused. And then I have quick ticks. So these are tasks that are under 5 minutes, and I like to just fit these in, and I find it quite satisfying to just tick those off really quickly. And then the rest of the tasks, and then I have a schedule. So I prefer to time block most of my day. You can not use the schedule if you don't want to do that, or you can just put in any meetings, appointments, anything else you prefer. And again, you just type and drag this to different times that suit you. And I've also got a section here with notes. So with these are actually call outs, these boxes here. And the only thing to think about when you're using these is if you want to, I've actually made this box a bit bigger, but if you wanted to type and expand the box, then top tip, hold down the shift key as you press the enter key, just so it stays all within the box. Planners, you've also got a weekly planner here, and for this I've got a week intention, top 3 priorities. Again, it's just to keep yourself focused on what you really need to be doing. And then again, it's a simple to-do list of tasks every single day and somewhere to write notes. So with the monthly planner, I did show how I use this in a vlog. So I'll link that down below in case you haven't seen this. But again, I've split it into different intentions. You can write a word of the month if you want to. You've got a calendar in here. This is actually a database, so I'll probably chat a little bit more later about how you can use databases. And you can easily just, click the plus sign there to add anything in there. And then I've added some questions, prompts for reflecting every single month, because I find that useful to do. I've also added in a habit tracker. So I've added this in as different toggle headings. So you just need to click on the wee triangle there, and it opens up. So I've split this into the different weeks of the month. And then this again is another database, but this is a table. So I've split it into the days of the week, the dates, and then these are the different habits I've suggested, but obviously you can completely change those. How you do that is you click on the option there, and then you can just type in something completely different, or you could just delete it entirely if you don't want this many different habits. And then it's just a matter of ticking these boxes on and off, and you'll see they will automatically add up down below when you've ticked them off, which is quite nice to track your progress. There's quite a lot on this planner, so other things you can do, I won't go into all the different pages, but we've got a morning routine, an evening routine, year intentions, a vision board, and then maybe I'll just show you the journal. So this is the first page of the journal. So I just added some prompts in there, and then again we've got toggle headings. So if you click on January, and then you've got one entry already there, but I'll click add new entry and I'll show you what happened. This is another sort of template within a template, or page within the page that comes up. So every single day you can have the same template and use the same one. You just obviously will want to change the date to whatever the day is. So again, I've added in some questions here. I know some of us like to journal on paper. I prefer a mix. Sometimes I like to do it digitally, particularly if I want to store it and look back at it. So maybe if it's a day that I think would be really useful, particularly as a writer, to look back on. Notion is fantastic in storing things and making everything really accessible. So sometimes I like to journal digitally, and this is just, again, you can change all of these prompts, but these are some suggestions, and I've split it into morning and evening because that's the way I like to journal. So this is another one of the templates that I've created for you guys. This is a Plant Lovers Food Planner. So I've used a similar format for all my planners to make it easy for you. So I've split it up into the different headings and then all the separate pages. Under the meal planning heading, you've got a meal plan, a grocery list, and a pantry inventory. So we'll just look at the meal plan. So here, this is another database. I've split this up into different views. So you've got your table and your calendar. On the table I've created here, you can put in the day of the week, the date, and then what you're eating that day. So I've split that up into breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. But again, you can change these by just clicking on there and typing in something differently or deleting it. And if you click on the days, you can open these up here into a separate page, and this is where you can keep any recipe links potentially that you need for that day. If you want a good overview, it is handy to use the calendar view. And this is, I've only got in one day at the moment, but this is what this will look like. The Notion is actually, you can use this across all your devices. So you can use this on your laptop, but you can also use it on your phone. So for the grocery list, I thought I would create a format that is easy to use when you're out and about food shopping. This is an example list here, but obviously you can change up the items for what you need. And also I've sorted this table so that all of the similar items will be listed together, which means when you're out and about shopping, it's easier because you have all your fresh produce, for instance, all your bakery things, etc. And then you've also got a quantity and a bought tick box. With your pantry inventory, obviously all of this is optional. You don't have to use all of these pages, but this is essentially lots of little databases, and I split it up into different headings where you can keep an eye on what you've got already in your pantry. And again, because you can use this on your phone, that's quite useful. Sometimes when I'm out shopping, I can't quite remember if I've got something, so I can easily just check this way. And I've got like the food items, quantities, when it expires, so that's quite useful to just check on to make sure that nothing expires and you don't get any food waste that way. So I've created this database where you can store all of your recipes. I found this very useful to keep everything in one place. Again, this is a database and I've split it into a variety of different views for you. So all of your recipes can be created in this table here. You've got the recipe name, you've got whether you're eating it this week, just optional, recipe link, what type of recipe it is, and I've suggested different types here, but you can change these. So if you click on this, it will give you these options that I've already pre-selected. But if you want to change the type, you can just click edit property, and then you can click on that and type something new and delete it, or you can add a different property. And you can also click on all of these recipes to open up a separate page. And up here you'll have the stuff that's in the table, but you'll also have somewhere you can write out the recipe. So perhaps that's easier for you to keep it this way, or if you just want to follow a recipe that's online, you can just follow the link. In terms of the different views, so this is the table format. You can also view this as a gallery, just because that's fun. And I've filtered this table into different views, so that's what the tags were about, essentially, or the types were about here. So you can just view your favorite recipes, you can view what's quick to make, or you can just view the different types of meals, so breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, etc. So what else we've got on here? We've got a simple schedule for any food prepping you want to be doing that week. I've created some resources for you guys. So these are some essentials that I have in my plant pantry, and some resources down here for some of my favorite recipe books or articles or stuff like that. And then I've also got a seasonal eating guide. So this is really straightforward. This is just if you want to be eating more seasonally. This is something I'm trying to do because it just
Lots of benefits. As I've said here, it's often cheaper, it's often more nutritious, the food, and it supports local farmers and reduces air miles. So on here, I've got a little bit of inspiration of some of my favorite videos on seasonal eating, and then I've just got a little list of what's in season um, for the different months. This is obviously based on the UK, so you might need to change this depending on where you're based, but this just splits it up into what's in season, what fruit and vegetables in season in the different months in the different seasons. And then down here, I've got a food kind of journal, I suppose. So I've got somewhere you can list your food values. This is something that's quite important to me. It helps me stay intentional with how I'm eating. So I've got somewhere you can write any values you have, but if you're not sure what they are, then I've also put some prompts and some questions here that you can write out. And then I've created a food tracker. This is similar to your habit tracker in the Slow Life Planner. So again, it's a little table for you guys here, and it has the days of the week, and it also has suggestions of the sort of things you might want to track, and you can just tick them on and off. Again, you just change these by clicking on the header and typing in something else, or deleting it if you prefer. And this is the final planner at the moment anyway that I've created for you guys. This is my Bookworm Planner. I had so much fun creating this one and making it all aesthetic for you guys. So as usual, on the homepage, similar format, we've got some nice photos and a graphic and also a playlist. I've become obsessed with this playlist and this YouTube channel in terms of just when I'm reading or when I'm writing. It's beautiful, like classical music. The format's the same. The only thing I've added is a little box here for what you're currently reading because that's fun. In terms of planners, you've got a reading planner. This is another database. So this is split into a board view or a table view. So if there's a table similar to all the others, you can write in the book. This is the books you want to read, the author, the genre that you can change. So you can click on this and edit the property, and you can put different genres in or change these around. The priority and the status of it. And you can also view this as a board. So this splits up the books into the different statuses. So what you haven't started, what you're reading, and what you've read, because that's just quite fun to move things along the board. I've created a reading challenge because I know some of us like to do that. I've dipped into out doing challenges. Again, you can completely change this or not use it if you prefer, but an example could be a certain number of books you want to read in the year. So I put reading 30 books, but obviously you can add days or change this number. But you could also do maybe a challenge where you want to read a selection of different types of books. Again, I just listed some ideas down here by different genres or ideas, authors, and you can tick off as you read these. So for your reading tracker, it's kind of in two sections. So I just gave you a year overview here. So every single day you can tick off when you've read within the different months. And then this is a year overview. So you can view this as a table or as a gallery. And then this essentially just has the month, the number of books you read, the number of pages you read, and what the books were. With the books read here, you can see there's a little circle. So I've suggested that you might want to read 3 books a month, but obviously you can change that. So you can do that by clicking on the heading and edit property again. And this is where this information is. So you can change if you just want to read 1 book a month or 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. You just change it by typing it in here. And you can also view that just as a number if you would like, or as a bar or as a ring. I've created a digital bookshelf for you guys, and this is just somewhere you can store all of your books that you have read. And again, I created this as a gallery, which is quite fun, but you can also see it as a table, and you can filter it by genre and also those that you've given top ratings to pick out your favorite books. And within each of these, if you click on them, then it opens up a template page. And this is what I've created. So it's easy to store anything you want to after you finished reading a book. So you can write out this information like a summary, any key points, any reasons for your ratings, what you enjoyed, what you learned, what you didn't enjoy. But again, you can just change all these headings for whatever suits you. And in the table, the information you can put for each book is the title, the author, the genre, and the rating. So this is just 1 to 5 stars that I've created for you guys here that you can click on, and also links to the books. Favorite authors is similar thing. So this is just somewhere you can store some information on them, and you can click on the pages and write again a little bio about these authors, what books you've read from them, what you'd like to read, and anything else you want to record. I personally really like to store any inspirational quotes I come across when I'm reading. So this is just a simple table where you can do that. So you can put the title of the book, the author, the quote, and some of these pages I have also put some reading quotes. So you can obviously change these up within your planner as well. I've created a little resource section for you guys. So this is some reading inspiration, and that's just some like YouTube channels and articles and things about reading that I find quite inspiring, and then also some of my favorite books I've recommended for you. And within your journal section, I've created a space you can record any reading intentions. So you can make a little list here for any intentions you might have for that year or whatever time frame works, and some journal prompts to try and think about what those intentions might be for you.
I hope you found that we tour around Notion useful. I'll make sure to include all the links to my planners on my Etsy store below, and thank you everyone who has already supported my shop, or if you are thinking of buying one, thank you in advance. But that's it from me right now, and I will see you guys next time.